Tonight's show is going to be about art, and art how it's taught at Kean University, which is not looking at admiring a Van Gogh, Starry Night, the great Mona Lisa, a work of art by Picasso. Those are very admirable, and we can learn from that. But Dr. Amoroso, who teaches at Kean University, takes art one step beyond that and teaches his students to bring out their individual passions, their feelings through the use of art. Today's guests, who will be talking about how art is taught at Kean University, and we have Dr. Joseph Armino.
I'm the worst person with names.
Okay,
Senator, so
it's not Amoroso, Armino.
Yes,
okay, and one of your prize students, but all your students are prized. I spoke about them earlier, about their enthusiasm, not only about their talent, but their interest and their enthusiasm when I was there to speak before them. And we have one of your students here, Chris Brandon. Chris, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And Dr. Armino. So will you talk to and explain to me again, because I learned for the first time, and I explained to our audience how your approach to art is not the typical way students and folks like me think about art in terms of the great Picassos and Rembrandts and all, but you have a unique way of teaching art. Talk to us about it.
Thank you. Well, essentially our program is what we could classify as a psychology-based approach. And by that I mean what we do is we help students access the way they made art as preschoolers, which means they are getting back to their natural way of operation with creative intelligence. American education has placed those, inadvertently, really in many cases has placed those barriers because American schooling on a K through 12 level has historically focused more on that cognitive, that logical way of thinking, that put the right answer in the right box sort of approach, to the detriment of the other three. So therefore, it's not really igniting the full intellectual operation that nature provides us with. It sort of denies that. So we come out with a society who tends to be fine when they have to put the right answer in the right box, but have problems when it comes to discovering or creating new ideas. I'm out of Columbia University originally, and I did my doctorate there in this area of psychology of art making. And I was hired there. I taught there for 4 years, and then Kean was very interested in bringing this sort of psychology-based approach into New Jersey, not just for people becoming artists, but the other side of the coin is many of the students that are in our program are art education students.
They'll teach.
They will teach.
They will follow your example.
That's right. So they're going to go out. My hope and my aspiration is that they're going to go out and help K through 12 students learn how to make meaning out of personal, important experiences. How do kids learn to look at what has happened to them and ignite ideas off of that, and also reflect on and make order out of what could be chaotic experiences
in their lives.
In their lives.
So Chris is going to be one of those in the vanguards of teachers, right, Chris?
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm still up in the air, but I think that's where I'm leaning towards at the moment.
So what attracted you to Dr. Amorino's class?
Well, initially it was part of the requirements for my degree.
I had some of my students say, "Why did you pick my class?" They said, "Well, you know, it fit in my schedule."
Right. And now that I'm in his class and I'm watching him teach, and I'm starting to learn more about myself as an artist and taking these personal experiences that I've had and infuse it into my own art, it's making me grow as an artist. And you know, you start to, and it shows in the class as well. I'm much older than most students that are in my class. A lot of them are just out of high school and are coming into this class in their early 20s. You know, I'm an older student, but I can definitely see the progression of the students in his class in a short amount of time. And he's very engaging in the class, and that really helps bring out all of these emotions into art.
Okay. What you have gotten out of his class, you certainly have, now you do have art talent, we've seen that.
Thank you.
You do. But what has Dr. Armino's approach changed your approach in how you create art?
That's a good question. I think basically the way that he teaches and the way that he describes art, and for me it's made me look deeper into my own personal experiences of life growing up, and it's actually made me rethink how I create art, in a sense that I take upon my personal experiences and I try to infuse those into my own art, and to give the viewers more meaning and more depth, just so it's not such on the surface level. It really does make for some interesting pieces that you wouldn't necessarily have without his teaching methods.
And we're going to talk about some of those. You have any more? Did you bring any more examples with
I
you?
did actually.
And these are all students of yours, interns of yours, whom you have taught to produce what you're going to show us.
The one I just showed was actually done by an intern who was teaching in middle school. It was one of her students who created it.
Oh my God, wow.
The intern was using our method in order to elicit that kind of work out of a fifth grader.
So you are training the future education leaders in terms of how art can bring out your inner emotions.
That's right.
Wonderful.
That's right. And the idea to also use the full intelligence, because research at Columbia has shown that when young people learn through this method of teaching, it creates what we call habits of mind. Their minds, they may never paint again or touch art again, but their minds and their intellect will operate more globally, fully, because of having these kinds of experiences through art. And that's why I think when we look at American education and art programs getting cut, we're not worried about art programs getting cut because people aren't going to draw and paint. We're worried when art stops happening for kids, what other forms of intelligence are going out the window with that?
Let's see some other examples of what you have.
This was done by a student when I
Oh,
taught
wow.
in high school. This is a self-portrait.
A self-portrait.
This is a senior in high school. Now this senior, he has given me permission. They all have to use this.
Okay, you can put that down.
These are mostly urban kids, and this student was very, very overweight. In fact, he would not sit in the front of the room. He came in and he said, "I can't draw, I can't paint. I'm taking this because I need the course. Can I sit in the back of the room?" And I said, "Why do you want to sit in the back of the room?" He said, "Because I don't like anybody behind me because of the way I look."
Ooh.
He said, "I fall out of the desk and I don't want anybody behind me." But if you look at his image, look at the people behind him. He's in front and he's a destroyed rag doll.
I know it's going to be up on the screen, but let me, oh wow.
Look at the people behind him.
Oh my God. And how old was the child?
This boy is about 18.
Okay.
He's extremely introverted, extremely shy.
You wouldn't know that from that?
Very tall and very large.
Not at all.
Wow.
But he has this, and you can see he sees himself as a rag doll torn apart. And again, we don't know if he can draw. He can make marks. But essentially, he turns himself into a symbol. The rag doll is a metaphor for who he is and how he feels. There's a lot more to all these stories, Senator.
And there's no doubt by him telling and expressing his story through that piece of art has had to be beneficial to him.
This was done by a student in the course you visited. This is conversion therapy.
Oh my God, oh.
The students in the course you visited are really learning how art can be used as an agent of social change.
Okay, so for our audience, conversion therapy is this false type of therapy, phony therapy, that is used cruelly to try to convert someone who is gay in their heart, in their soul, in their being, into becoming straight. And statistics have shown that it has had devastating effects on children, suicides, cutting themselves. And I was honored to have sponsored the ban for New Jersey of conversion therapy, which the United States Supreme Court recently upheld. So there you go. So let's see that again, because what a powerful image of that. And I'm going to use that because New Jersey is only a handful of states that has banned conversion therapy. So that will, talking about advocacy, that image right there can be used to advocate for a national ban or a more state-by-state ban.